Hello, this is Mayor Underwood, City of Tuscumbia, and just wanted to say welcome and thank you for attending our monthly update. Today I want to talk about something that has been near and dear to the hearts of most of Tuscumbians for a long time now, and what I've heard many times over and over as I campaigned and since I've been in office is a paving project. So here in Tuscumbia, we have begun a 7-mile, $3.3 million paving project for the city. Now, there's lots of infrastructure needs for this city. This is the one most talked about most often by most people. Our roads are probably the worst of the four cities, and so therefore the need is legitimate, the concerns were real, and so as a mayor and council, we heard those concerns. Early in the year, early in our season actually as being mayor and council, we decided to reallocate how our debt was structured for the city. By doing that, we took some short-term notes and some long-term notes and made sure they were balanced on both sides. By doing that, we took out some more money, $2.3 million as bond money, and we reduced our monthly payments by $50,000. So that was a good use of current income for the city with sales tax by relieving our budget sum of $50,000, as well as giving us an opportunity to invest in our infrastructure. So what we decided to do was invest in several things. Most important thing, in my opinion, to most of the citizens is the paving. So 7 miles for $3.3 million, I have to admit that was more money than I thought it would take. We did it through an entity called the MPO, the Metropolitan Planning Organization. I want to explain that just a little bit so people understand what we did and how we chose the roads that we did. The road project is 80% paid for by federal and state funds. Now, the U.S. government nor Montgomery knows which streets are most needed to be paved in this entire Shoals area of the two counties and the cities involved. They don't know that need and those requirements. So they send a lump sum of money, they dump it into a fund that's controlled by every elected official, one from each city, that's called the MPO. And so as Mayor of Tuscumbia, I'm on that board. And so we allocate who gets what over the short term and over, I think there's like a 15-year planning stage that we have to keep strategized for and report that back to Montgomery, who reports it to the Fed. So they say, we'll dump this money in, y'all decide who gets what, and we pay for 80% of it. The only requirement is, of course, everybody has to approve, but it needs to be streets and roads that are highly trafficked. So I can't take a subdivision of 50 homes or 20 homes and repave that subdivision. It has to be inlets where more people drive, there's more traffic on. And so those are designated. We can add to those, which we did, and by traffic count we said here's the roads we want to pave. On our city Facebook page, I think still pinned at the top, is a graph that shows which streets are currently under this paving project. The good thing to know is out of $3.3 million, City of Tuscumbia is responsible for a little over $600,000. I think it was like $650,000 was our 20%. So that's paid up front and done, and then the rest comes from the federal and the state. So that's the good part about it. We limited our scope to make sure that we got the roads that were, number one, in the worst condition and had not seen asphalt or paving in a long time, and number two, that met the criteria for being highly trafficked. The other good thing is all the members on that board understands that it's been a long time since Tuscumbia has had the ability to come up with that match. So they were very generous in scheduling. There were other people that are already on the books, may or may not have had their match, but they were on the books ahead of us. And that group of elected officials and representatives of the cities and the counties said, we understand Tuscumbia, and they bumped us ahead in the line to allow us to go ahead and pay with the matching funds that we had. I'm very grateful to that organization for that and the representatives that represent those different communities, because that's something they didn't really have to do. Tuscumbia will always be grateful for those guys and those ladies and gentlemen that made that sacrifice for us to allow us to get our paving job in. The bad part is we were anticipating the cost to be between, based on engineering estimates, between 1.7 and 2.3 million. So our reserve would have been around $350,000 that we would have had to pay in. Coming in as high as it did, almost doubled. we had to pay a lot more than we thought we'd have to pay. So our bond allocation of 2.3 was significantly reduced than the other things that we could sponsor as capital improvement projects. So that is a bit of a negative, but 4 different entities bid on that, and that's just the way things are right now in cost to pave. In the end, we've got some very good roads being paved, some streets in the city that are very smooth, some downtown, some in the outline, north and south. Every district will be touched by the paving project. And I want to say to the people that I work with, to the council for the city and the citizens that are here, how happy I am to be a part of this process. That paving project will last for a long time. And in years to come, we're going to try to initiate a strategy that says we're going to be able to pave a little bit along the way to prevent us from having to do a full 7 miles. Now, someone asked me one time how much it would cost to pave every road. Based on water lines, I think we have about 60 plus miles, maybe 70. So we can basically multiply it by 10. If we paved every street in the city, it's going to be about $30 million. So we got 10% all in one whack, and I'm grateful for that. So that's all I want to say is our main emphasis right now is the fact that we were, with our capital improvement project, and the bond money allocated by distributing our balances of our loans, we're able to pave that 7 miles. And to the citizens and to the council that I work with, I'm happy to be a part of that project, and I'm happy to be serving as the mayor of this great city. Looking forward to the years ahead, all the great things that we're going to accomplish together, because if we can pave 7 miles of road in one project, we can do anything. So I'm happy to be a part of this, and thank you for listening and being a part of this with me and giving me some time to update you on where Tuscumbia is and our picture, our piece of the pie of the Shoals.